Hey guys, this is Warp24 from MondayMorningMTG.com, and today I have the Theros event deck called Inspiring Heroics. And it's a white-blue deck. The most I know about it is that there are 2 detention spheres and 1 hallowed fountain in it, along with 4 Azorius guild gates. So this deck essentially, I'm assuming is going to be like a white-blue control with some aggro because it's got heroics mixed in, or the heroic mechanic, as far as I can tell based on the name. I don't remember exactly what's in it. I've looked at the deck list and I'm like, okay, good. But I mean, for $20 to $25 to get some other things I need out of it and to get my playset of hallowed fountains and all, I needed one. So, for those of you that do not know, by now, if you're a follower of this channel or if you've been playing Magic for a while, for those of you that do not know, this is a 60-card ready-to-play deck with a 15-card sideboard. So there's 75 cards in here. I believe there's supposed to be 10 rares in all, and it's all white-blue. So, here is the event deck. Let's see here. Oh, and it also comes down with a spin down, which is why it's perfect. It's typically sold at like game day, but here we go. We have the blue spin down life counter, and we have the how to play guide, the how to play this deck guide. If I can open it up here, it explains about tournaments and events on one side. The other side, it talks about how to play the deck, what's actually in it, things like that. There are no mythic rares in here, so there are ways you can boost this, like you could replace 4 of the Azorius guild gates with 3 hallowed fountains, so you have a playset in the deck, things like that. This is the sideboard. We'll set that aside. Haha, sideboard gets set aside. And then we have the actual main deck here. So let's look at that. I'm going to put some of these things back in here, like the how to play and all of that. I really don't need the how to play guide. I've been playing Magic now for 2 or 3 years, so really it's pointless to me. And if you buy any Magic product other than a booster box, there will be one in there. So, I mean, if you want to play Magic, you're going to find out how from that little guide. Alright, so starting out, we have Hopeful Eidolon. We have 3 of those. These are the 1 white mana for 1/1 with lifelink, or bestow for 4 with a +1/+1 lifelink. So, fairly good. And we have a Soldier of the Pantheon, which I believe has gone up to about $5 or $6 as of this video. 1 white for a 2/1, protection from multicolored, and whenever an opponent casts a multicolored spell, you gain a life. Very good card right here. Then we have, let's see here, 3 Dryad Militants, which is either a green or a white when you cast it. It's a 2/1, and if an instant or sorcery card will be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. So this is good against anyone that may be able to like flash anything back or otherwise. And it exiles some things too, which is great. So then, here we have, we've already seen one of our rares, let's see here. So we have 3 commons, and we have Soldier of the Pantheon, a rare, 3 uncommons. We have 2 rare Imposing Sovereigns, a white and 1 for a 2/1, creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. So pretty much Blind Obedience as a creature with no extort. Fair enough. Precinct Captain, yet another rare, so now we've seen 4. Double white for a 2/2 with first strike. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 white soldier creature token onto the battlefield. Not bad right there. I like it, I like it. And 3 Battle-Wise Hoplites of white-blue. They're 2/2s, of course uncommon, with the heroic mechanic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And then you can scry 1. Which of course means you just look at the top card of your library, decide if you want it to be on the top or on the bottom of your library, and you put it there. New Prov Guild Mage, white and blue. It's 2/2. You can pay a white and a blue for a target creature to gain flying until end of turn, and or you can pay a white, blue, and 3 to detain target non-land permanent and opponent controls. So, it's okay. Probably works well in this deck, because Wizards of the Coast builds this deck to be relatively competitive. Next rare is Frontline Medic. White and 2 for 3/3 with Battalion, where whenever it and at least 2 other creatures attack, creatures you control are indestructible this turn. And you can also sacrifice him for target spell with X and its mana cost to be countered, unless the controller pays 3. So he's pretty good. He was really highly priced when he first came out, but he dropped because he didn't see much play, I think. Alright, next up we have 2 Banisher Priests. Double white and 1 for 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature and opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. So this is like the new Fiend Hunter. Same casting cost. Fiend Hunter was from, I want to say, Innistrad. And it was a 1 and 3. I can't remember exactly what it was from. It was either from Avacyn Restored, Innistrad, or Dark Ascension. It was from that block, but it was about the same. It was 1 and 3 and did the same thing. Same mana cost, etc. Alright, here we go. Fabled Hero. Double white and 1 for a 2/2 with double strike. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Fair enough. So far, this is a pretty good deck. I wouldn't mind running it. Alright, now we have 3 of Liev Sky Knight. White, blue, and 1 for 3/1 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, detain target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Then we have 2 Ascended Law Mages. White, blue, and 2 for 3/2 with flying and hexproof. Skymark Rock. White, blue, and 2 for 3/3. Whenever it attacks, you may return target creature defending player controls with toughness 2 or less to its owner's hand. Also not bad. Next up we have a Lavinia of the 10th. White, blue, and 3 for 4/4 with protection from red. When she enters the battlefield, detain each non-land permanent and opponent controls with converted mana cost 4 or less. So, she can be okay. She doesn't see major tournament play as far as I know. Alright, next up we have our 4 Azorius Guildgates of the Return Ravnica type, which of course it just enters tapped. You can either tap it for white or blue. Simple mana fixing. And then we have one of the main things I wanted out of this, the Hallowed Fountain. Of course, Plains Island, Shockland. Enters battlefield, you pay 2 life. If you don't, enters battlefield tapped. So it comes in untapped if you pay the 2, essentially, is what it's saying. Alright. Next up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 planes from Theros, of course. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 islands. Huh. Well, there isn't too much blue, I suppose. And you have the 5 dual lands that produce blue. Alright, anyway. Next we have 2 God's Willing. It's 1 white, target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn, and you scry 1. Not bad at all, really. I think a couple more would be nice, but yeah. Then we have an Ordeal of Heliod. A white and 1 to enchant creature. Whenever it attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And if it has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, sacrifice Ordeal of Heliod. When you sacrifice it, you gain 10 life. Now, you don't have to sacrifice it when it reaches 10. You can have more than 3 when you sacrifice it. Just anytime after 3, you can sacrifice the enchantment. Otherwise, I don't think you can. 2 Pacifisms. White and 1, enchant creature. It can't attack or block for your opponents. 2 Ordeal of Thasses. Blue and 1, enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then if it has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, sacrifice it, and when you sacrifice, draw 2 cards. I'm sorry, I think the white one's a little bit better for gaining 10 life. But that's just me. Just my opinion. Alright, next we have 2 Dauntless Onslaughts, a white and 2. And up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+2 until end of turn. Not bad. Could be better, but for 3 mana, pumping 2 creatures up +2/+2, not bad. Last 2 cards in the actual deck, Tension Sphere. White, blue, and 1 for converted mana cost of 3. An enchantment, whenever it enters battlefield, you may exile target non-land permanent not named Detention Sphere. It's for the Oblivion Ring Infinite Loop. And all other permanents with the same name as that permanent. When it leaves the battlefield, return the exiled cards to the battlefield under their owner's control. So only if you can destroy the enchantment can that happen. Or if you can get rid of the enchantment. Like with, I think that one card that I said was like Fiend Hunter. Alright. Time for the 15 card sideboard, which comes in a completely clear booster pack. Interesting how that works. Triton Tactics, 1 blue. Up to 2 target creatures each get +0/+3 until end of turn. Untap those creatures. At this turn's next end of combat, tap each creature that was blocked by one of those creatures this turn, and it doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. And we have 2 Triton Tactics. The card looks a little bit different. Maybe I'm mistaken. Anyway, Glare of Heresy, white and 1, exile target white permanent. We have 2 of those. Next we have Gainsay, blue and 1, counter target blue spell. Negate, blue and 1, counter target non-creature spell. There's a lot of 2-ofs in the sideboard. Arrest, white and 2, enchant creature. It can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. And that is 2 of. Solemn Offering, white and 2. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, you gain 4 life. And there's 3 of those. And last but not least, 2 Gift of Orzhova for a convert mana cost of 3, and you can either pay double white, double black, or a white and black plus a colorless. Of course, in this case, it has to be double white because this is only a white-blue deck. And you enchant creature, it gets +1/+1 and has flying and lifelink. So, there you have it. That is the sideboard and the deck for the Theros event deck. Hope you guys enjoyed, and look for this at your local game store.